So, you guys really liked the desert farming video. If you didn't see that video, it'll be linked to the description down below. You don't need to have seen it, as it was literally just me trying to get as much loot as I could in 10 minutes in a desert. Now, I might do that again, see if we can get any more, but of course, if I'm going to continue this series, I should probably start testing out other zones before I start repeating ideas. We might get back to the desert though, but I wanted to do the forest. I didn't run a poll or anything. I didn't ask. Other people suggested cities. That's a great suggestion. Industrial zones, suburbs, they're all a little different, but I wanted to go into a forest and just see how much carved twine I could get. So as per last time, I moved as much into my storage as I could. I have an empty backpack, and then I only have stacks of 200 for traps, except for the 198 and 150. Okay, I didn't notice a few of these. Oh yeah, my storage got full. Okay, I tried my best, but I cleared it out so that we can easily just see all the new stuff. I'm not worried about builds because they're easy to get. You can do encampments, anomalies, whatever. You can loot passively. Stone, wood, and metal just kind of happens. I'm at 5,000 all the time. Even when I'm building with my teammates, it just doesn't go down. Recycling exists. It's just not something I'm concerned about. And we are changing one thing. So it came up in the last video that Fossil Southie can punch way more often than a clip commander. And in that idea, in that vein, if you are able to punch significantly more often, then you might end up getting more resources with clip and support than her in the lead, because she gives you 33% more in support and 100% in the lead. In that instance, I would imagine your total loot gained with her in the lead is 200%, and in support, it's 133%. It's not that far off. So getting 6-10% less from that difference is a lot, but I think with Southie, you can punch like twice as much. I have not done the hard math on that. That is being done by AS47, one of the nerds in our community, and I think you'll have a full write-up if I ever make a third video on this subject. But yeah, I'm just gonna try him in the lead because this is a casual series. I want to see just how it feels. I'm gonna put him in the lead, and there's actually more to it than that. So it's not just punching more often, but you get to phase shift more often, and when you're punching more consistently, you get into a better flow. So even if you don't technically get more materials, it might feel better. So we'll just see. I'm gonna pause until we get into the game here, and it's not gonna be a strict 10-minute clock, but we'll see how we do. Oh, such a beautiful start. So let's just get straight into it. Just punching. And you can just see the beauty of this. In fact, I'm gonna raise the volume there. Yeah, there we go. Now, some people did comment suggestions about maybe putting energy generation heroes in support, like Fallen Love Ranger Jonesy or whatever. And those are excellent suggestions. I honestly think that's a good idea, but I didn't do that this time because I like the build as it is. You know, Saurian Hide and Instinct just means if we use an ability, it'll heal us. Saurian Hide will make us a little harder to kill. And then, of course, we got Archaeologist, so our punch is cheaper. And, of course, we need Clip and support. If she's not in the lead, she should be in support. And then I actually kept phased out. That's Flash AC. He just makes us phase shift with a little bit less of a cooldown so we can get around the map easier. And with Fossil Southie in the lead, I don't know if this is too loud. I don't want to drown myself out. With Fossil Southie in the lead, we're going to be getting plenty of energy. And I'm not going to lie, this is already feeling way better. I remember when I've farmed with Clip in the past, you kind of are slowed down. It's not as fun to just because you can't punch as often, but that feels immediately better. Now, two things are different that I haven't mentioned. Always got to kill the crows. Always got to kill the crows. Look at that. Easy 3 coal, 12 batteries. There was more to it than that. And something I can recycle as a trap. So that's really good. Two things are different that I haven't mentioned so far. One, we're in a 132 zone. A couple of you guys commented, and I did read all of them. And you mentioned that it is kind of a gradient like I mentioned. So to those who don't know what I'm talking about, essentially you start getting tier 5 materials and tier 4 depending on power level. You know, all the different tiers change with power level. For legendary stuff, or tier 5 stuff at least, 94 zones are the cutoff. So we're in a 132 because I figured this is like the highest forest zone that I immediately saw. There might be a 140 today, but it doesn't really matter. A lot of people commented that when they killed glowing animals, they consistently got more tier 5 loot when they were in the much higher zones. So I'm trying that out, you know? Let's just see if we get a higher proportion of that kind of stuff. And we can already check. Yeah, you can see I'm getting significantly more carved twine than peaky twine, and I haven't gotten any of the other stuff yet, but also more oxy than char black. And that actually is interesting because it was about 50-50 last time in the 108 zone, maybe a little more towards the tier 4 stuff more often. So there might be something to that, but our sample size is really small so far. And of course, I'm getting the pylons. That's the other thing. So one thing I didn't mention was the power level. And the other is, I'm not gonna lie, Last time, I just forgot. I just forgot to get the health pylon, or the energy pylon. That would have helped a bunch because, of course, we're using tons of energy. We're punching objects and moving around with phase shift, and that takes a lot of energy. So having 120 energy in the bank instead of 100 goes a long way. It actually helps more than you might think, and it's nice to have. Now, it's not everything. The reason we're not running like Archaeologists in the lead, who would make our anti-material charge 19 instead of full 35 or 45, is because she's still going to need energy to operate. So even though it's cheaper to punch, we're still going to need to generate energy at some point. So with Fossil Southie in the lead and an energy pylon boosting us to 124, that is just a brilliant combo, and I am all for it. Of course, I'm missing shots here because I'm being harassed. Just being harassed right now. We're not using a damage build, so I'm kind of just trying to stay out of his way. And I am failing to hit my shot. Okay, all right, good enough, good enough. Let's go get that crow, because these things are worth doing. Like, I'm not just trying to flex my aim, even though I try my best. But the loot you get is so good. So I got a death ray. I might have had this from a different mission, but I'm still gonna count it because it's nice to have. And then we got this and that, and we're not gonna recycle stuff we already had. There we go. Recycle a melee. I do actually keep the armor and movement barons, but look at that. We have barely started, like 4 minutes in, and we've got 48 carved twine, efficient parts, even though we're in a forest. Almost enough sunbeam for a full weapon, 31 oxy, and me showing you my inventory during the, timer. 10 minutes is just a nice fun number for a YouTube title. I don't strictly mean that. If we go for, 11 minutes, that'll be all right. Or 12 or whatever. And yeah, so we're in a higher level. I think farming in the highest power level that you feel comfortable is the best. Get a little sunbeam there. 2 sunbeam from that. Oh my goodness. Holy guacamole. Let me just back up a step. And for a second, yep, my internet's been on the fritz today. Not good. Oh man, all right, Teddy down. There we go. It's funny, you guys in the YouTube audience watching this on the YouTube as a video are gonna be just fine, but people who are watching this broadcast live are probably very confused. That's what I was trying to do. Get a Seismic Smash out. Holy crap! Was there an encampment down here, or is this just how many enemies there are? Okay, you can see by the oxidized mineral powder why I'm bothering to do any combat at all. Fossil Southian support probably would have gone a long way, but maybe prehistoric Isa is the only reason I'm alive. So which dino you use in support to activate Southie is kind of up to you. But yeah, I did survive that. And you can see when I phase shift, my health is going to go up ever so slightly. But just killing enemies has given me more sunbeam, more oxidize. Tier 5 materials come out of those mist monsters. And dipping into a cave for just a second here is always good. And this is why we can't really compare 2 videos very strictly. So if I ever make this, little hot tip for everybody watching. Let's see if I can demonstrate this. It's not always possible. Yeah, if you can get something clever like that, you can get those higher up ones with clip active. And just like that, we got 2 obsidian ore. And I like making these little videos because I never know what's gonna happen. Like I said, it's why you can't compare 2 videos very strictly, because what random weapons I get from a crow or an animal or a cave or a chest, I can't repeat that consistently. Your 10 minutes are going to be different from my 10 minutes, and your 10 minutes are going to be different from your next 10 minutes. Realistically, if you're low on a certain resource, loading up the game and just going for it is the best thing to do. By the way, this is exactly what I was talking about, getting brick. Watch what happens when we clear out this encampment. So let's just do this. Let's focus on the healing hoe right here. Okay, hold on. Let me back up a step so I don't die. Dying's bad, okay? In fact, I have tested this before. When you're dead, your capability of looting goes down almost to 0. Like, it's actually nearly impossible to get anything, so I try to stay alive. Yeah, look at that. 30 rough ore, 312 stone, and 7 oxidized powder. All I did was throw a drone and kill a couple of enemies with a xenon bow and some abilities. That was easy. That was easy. You kill another glowing animal, and then we got 13 planks, Shadow Shard, which is less exciting, and an anti-air trap, which is basically, let me just recycle that for full, planks, nuts and bolts, quartz. When people ask me how to get stuff, you guys, I tell them all the time, same thing. Recycle weapons, recycle traps, kill the glowing animals, recycle them. Normal enemies don't generally give as much loot, although they do give some. I don't usually think these guys are worth it. You can see they didn't drop anything this time. Mist monsters are more consistent, so yeah. I did forget that energy pylon, but I've had enough going on here, and I haven't really been struggling on energy, so I'm just going to stick to what I've been doing. We're going to save the drone just for a second here, because we are right next to an encampment. I think that's more deserving of it. If I use a plasmatic discharger, all right, Let me just phase shift around, actually. I'm not using any... Oh, man, that's so little. I'm not using any energy right now to farm while I'm killing these guys, so I might as well use that just to heal myself. I did put Parasaur Jess in support. That's who's healing me. It's not a lot. It's like 7.2%, give or take 0. I think it's 7.2 exactly, but it is something. I did forget about the boar. Again, 7 Oxy, 36 Rough Ore, and probably 300 Brick. I didn't look at it. But you can see I've already gone up thousands. I did say encampment. I meant Storm Chest, but always queue the Storm Chest. Let me just do this real quick. So I mentioned, I was going to say, I could use the Plasmatic Discharger for some easier kills. That would cost a lot of energy cells, though. So when you're farming like this, I always plan to back out of the mission. It's why I'm in here solo. It's why I'm ignoring the defense. I have no intention of finishing this mission. You do save all of your resources when you play like this. So if you're not actually defending the mission and we don't get anything for killing zombies, there's no running goal for killing zombies unless you've got quests available. I'm assuming you don't, because most of the year we have nothing going on there. You could consider every single zombie kill in a farming session as an investment. Every single bit of ammo, every resource you use while farming is an investment. And spending as little energy cells as possible, killing as many enemies as I can, is the best way to maximize performance. And that's exactly why I'm using a Xenon Bow. I've trashed on the Xenon Bow a little bit in the past, just because I think it's really overrated. I think a lot of people praise the Xenon Bow so highly that they forget other weapons exist. But, I mean, I know why we all love it. It's super cheap, super cost-effective. You can see just how much damage I'm doing with 1 energy cell per shot. And let's, of course, just go back to recycling, as we always should. I don't think we got any traps from that one. No melee that I can spot. Sometimes we get 130s that I miss, and that can just be like a special little treat. Later on, when you're going through inventory, you find out you have something that you shouldn't. Those are always fun to see. But you can see, I'm sure that happened here. Like, I swear I got something else, and I'm not sure how to find it easily because I get a little blind, but I'm going to assume I might locate it later on. If you ever find a weapon with completely random perks that you would never set yourself, that's probably what you've got. But it looks like my inventory is fine. It's just important to double check that. And you can see the resources over here. This is crazy. This is so many for, what are we at? 10 minutes barely, and I've been stopping to chat a lot. So let's go for a couple of extra minutes. And I made a whole comment about getting that energy pylon, but it hasn't even come up. Like, I'm dashing around the map trying to get to the energy pylon, but practically speaking, it may be more efficient for me to just keep punching trees as I go. Oh, what do we got over there? Wood? Okay, great. Let's pick up some ammo. Always need to get ammo. Basically get our investment back. We got 24 energy cells, which is actually really good because we're using a Xenon Bow. So we might have gotten a significant amount of our money back, or our energy cells back, just from that. So let's just do the phase shift. Nope, that's not what a phase shift is. Okay, back up a step. There we go. Look at the damage per shot. Like, it just cuts through the entire crowd. I know we're in a healing death burst mission, so if you were to replicate my strategy here of, you know, running around a forest punching stuff, might as well patent it, right? Then, of course, you might have a better time with enemies actually staying dead. I'm going to start with the higher health enemies. That's what you should always do in these situations, because if you shoot at the smaller enemies, you're just going to heal the big guys over and over. So you should always focus on one target at a time. And yeah, can we heal the... Perfect. So just same as the brick. Look at this on the left-hand side there, if it actually shows. Looks like it's glitching, but that should have been several hundred... 461 wood! 461 wood! That's crazy, man! Absolutely crazy. So anyway, somebody was in my audience today. I won't call out their name. I don't want to embarrass them, but somebody was in my audience talking about, you know, paying people in my chat to give them carved twine, and that is never necessary. You should never pay anybody for resources. If you don't like farming, then I'm sorry. But putting on one of my streams in the background, or a good TV show, or a playlist of music while you run around a certain biome just punching everything in sight, I think that's really fun. I think it's really casual to just go into whatever zone you're at. Of course, I'm in the higher level zones doing this for tier 5 stuff, but whatever power level you are, you can just do this and punch everything. And know that, of course, you're not always going to use tier 2, tier 3 resources. Eventually, you'll age out of tier 4 stuff, but you will always need planks. You will always need nuts and bolts. You will always need battery, resin, And all that stuff you're going to get pretty much no matter what power level you're at. You're always going to get resin and planks and stuff like that. So I encourage you guys to farm for your own loot because I think it's a fun part of the game and it's worth your while. So we're going to finish up the video in this little cave here, showing off that tip one more time. I don't remember who told me that. It was during a Frost Night run. The moment I learned that is like immortalized in one of my recordings, but it was a really big deal to find that out. So, okay, I said I would end down here, but I don't want them to kill me. So let's just hide down here for a second to see the total. So actually, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think I got more Sunbeam than last time just because of the way I played the game here. But 18 Sunbeam, 105 Carved Twine, which if you extrapolate that, and I was inefficient, so if you extrapolate that, it's at least 500 or 600 twine an hour, which is plenty. That's a lot. I even got a little bit of peaky twine. It does seem like I'm getting a lot more tier 5 stuff compared to tier 4, which is great. Going to that higher zone mattered a lot. I got a lot less obsidian and shadow shard and a lot more bright core and sunbeam proportionally there. So it was clearly worth it to go to the higher level zone, and definitely a successful session. In fact, before I start counting everything up, let me triple check that I actually recycled everything that I can see immediately. Yeah, it looks like we missed out on a little bit of bright core and efficient right there. And you can see just how much one item is. Was that like 9 or 10 mechanical? And I even got an active power cell. So from this 10 minutes of farming, I got nearly 2 full sunbeam weapons, about 2 bright core weapons, almost, and then enough efficient for like 1.5, which is just awesome. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more of this series, comment down below. I would love to try out maybe a different loadout here and there, maybe go to a city zone, industrial. I feel like as long as this series is popular and you guys really enjoy the idea of just hanging out with me while I farm for a bit, I feel like I could check out one of each zone at least once, and then we could start looping or trying different builds or whatever. I'm really interested in Southie versus Clip because, oh, I didn't even mention the fact that all of this is from Southie instead of Clip, and it feels really good. I don't have a mathematical answer yet. I'm letting AS work on that because he already started without me, and I trust his judgment, so we'll see what his report says, but I don't have a mathematical reason to say that Southie is or isn't better than Clip, but I can tell you feel alone is really giving me a lot towards Southie. It makes it so much easier just beyond farming. Even if it's technically less efficient, being able to use abilities to kill the enemies around you and clear out the hordes, being able to use abilities to heal yourself while you're lagging, there we go. That's so nice. Having all that extra energy on hand, I can just phase shift out of the way when I'm about to die. It's just really convenient, and the farming seems worth it as well. You're getting plenty of items, and yeah, I don't know yet, but it's looking good. All right, I'm out for real. Oh God, I'm trying to close out the video. You can't just put a legendary animal in front of me while I'm trying to. All right, what do we get? What do we get? Oh, batteries, nuts and bolts. Batteries are so good. 12 batteries. Batteries are used for some of the strongest weapons in the game and energy ammo. So that was a helium. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. I don't. Oh, was that a legendary helium? Yeah, thank you so much. I'll thank him more off camera, but wasn't that a helium? I'll be right back. Okay, no, it was a Krypton sword, but still, more efficient batteries and sunbeam just because I spotted an animal. All right, I'm out for real this time before I see anything good. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like the video if you liked it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.